What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another Hot Toys 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. Today we are obviously looking at Hot Toys' brand new release of the Spider-Man 2099 from Spider-Man Across the Multiverse. I got this guy from toysassemble.com. You guys can pick yours up from them right now and get it in less than a week with the best price on the internet. So make sure to go check them out. The link on screen or in the description below. But without further ado, I'm actually going to spend some time on this actual box because this box art is absolutely amazing. You can see all of that comic-inspired detail all over it. This thing looks absolutely amazing. There is so much different vibrant colors and holographic details everywhere. We have his logo right there, another Spider-Man 2099 logo right there. And yeah, really cool box, but I know none of you came here specifically for the box, so we're going to slide the figure out of here, and this is really on there. There we go. This is the first look we get at the figure in its box. Now you got to see it has a nice, it's patterned and textured all across there. Opening it up. I am really excited for this figure. First of all, it is so heavy. And he is fucking huge. I mean, if you guys just see in my hand right here, he is massive and he comes with a lot of stuff. One bag right here. We have another big piece of cardstock right here. And if we come over to this, we have obviously a cape. And if we take this top piece off, hopefully I don't send everything flying. Like I said, it's usually a 50-50. And I'd say that was a success in my opinion. Bringing the figure out in hand, and oh my god. First of all, he is massive. He weighs a ton and he has some presence. Let me actually just take all of these little plastic bits off because he is really well protected. And all right, first in-hand impressions, guys. You can't tell me he doesn't look absolutely amazing. Obviously, like I just said, he weighs an absolute ton. And I am a super big fan of this suit, fully seamless, and I seriously can't see anything personally wrong with it besides maybe this little seam right here. But obviously there's going to have to be a seam. But without further ado, guys, before we take any closer look at the figure itself, we're going to get all of these accessories down in the light box and take a closer look at everything it comes with. All right, everybody, and this is everything that the Spider-Man 2099 comes with. We are not looking at that whole display diorama quite just yet because that is going to be its own section in the video. But starting off, we have a pretty standard Hot Toys hexagonal display base. Really wish they would start getting more creative with this, but it has his normal spider logo. This whole thing does have a little bit of rough texture around it, and it just says Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Nothing too crazy. It has a nice comic Spider-Man 2029 right there with a nice standard flight pole. Nothing too crazy, but again, I really do wish Hot Toys started making more displays rather than just stands. Starting off with his hands, he obviously has two closed fists that are already on his body. Then we have these more sprawled out, just normal hands, nothing special on them. And then obviously we have his clawed hands. I really do like how these ones look. You can see a decent bit of texture on the inside there. And the printing, coloring, painting, sculpting, everything on these is super nice. And you can actually wiggle these little pieces out. It is a little bit hard to do on camera, so let me do that. And once you get these out, you can replace it with any one of these, which help you actually put the spider webs inside of his arm. And of course, I will be showing you guys what that looks like on the figure in just a little bit. But yeah, he comes with a normal open hand and a clawed one along with his closed fists. Then you get these really cool modern web displays that he has. And he comes with a decent amount of them, and they do feel pretty high quality. These I would not be afraid to pose. These don't feel crazy fragile. A really nice semi-translucent red with that little yellow to white gradient. I think these look really great. We have this as an option, a more curled one which he can grab, a really big sprawled out messy one, and then a nice clean straight one. Then these two semi-transparent pieces right here go on either one of his claws, or you can put it on one hand and it's a slashing effect, kind of like Wolverine comes with in Hono Studios version. And of course you get his magnetic cape, semi-translucent. It is a little small, but you have this piece right here to keep it propped up, and obviously the magnets, and an extra layer that goes right here on his neck peg right here, so it will not be slipping or sliding. This thing will be very secure, and you can see a ton of texture, detailing, and sculpt work on this, and it is actually textured on it. So this will not feel cheap in your hands. And this is a super high quality plastic with how it's actually see-through and it's not foggy. Then we come over to his little wrist piece right here, and it does open and it does have textured detail in there, a sticker, and it can close on a hinge for a more clean aesthetic. And this does just slide over his wrist peg, and his hands would be sticking out just like that. And again, these are all of the replacement pieces. But that is actually it for all of this figure's accessories. So let's get him out here in the light box, just standing straight up and down, and see what he looks like. Here we have it, guys. This figure is phenomenal. Sitting right here, I usually say this has the proportions of a real person, but he really does not. This is highly unachievable for most people, I'd say. You know, for me, obviously, I have a better physique than even Miguel over here. But seriously, this suit design, amazing. Hot Toys doing a fully seamless body on it. Super happy with how it turned out. The material does have a lot of give, and I really feel like it won't absolutely get destroyed anytime you're trying to pose it. But I feel like if you hold it in a pose for a really long time, then, you know, it is your fault at that point. But I really am curious to see what that head sculpt looks like on it, so let's check it out right now. Here we have him, everybody, with his unmasked head sculpt. I did decide to add a little head tilt with those eye rolling. Can't really tell if you guys can see that, but what you can tell is that that neck of the suit goes all the way up under his head. Really am not the biggest fan of that. But anyway, without that, I'm going to put that aside for a lot of these Hot Toys figures. That is a ton of engineering, and it adds an extra seam. So I really do like to push that to the side. But right here, standing right here, it looks amazing. We have another thing that I want to try out, which is that head sculpt with that cape. So let's take a quick look. Don't make fun of my posing. I'm not doing any crazy dynamic poses just yet. I saved those for the end of the video. Let my creativity flow out a little bit towards the end. But guys, this cape really does look really amazing, and it flows very nicely on this figure. And guys, if you guys are thinking about picking this guy up, just do it. Wait till you see this size comparison, because he is absolutely enormous. So just stay tuned for that at least. First character I am going to be comparing him to is my other Spider-Man. So even if you guys want to stick around just for that, I really would recommend it, just so you can gauge how massive he is. But everybody, here we have him close up in hand. First real in-hand close-up impressions. This thing is stunning. Now, you can actually shine a black light on it. I do not have one. All of these freaky ass creators have their black lights on hand. I am not one of them, guys, so super sorry. You're gonna have to check out another figure creator or just their official website to actually see him with his black light version of his suit lighting up. I do not have a black light, and I don't really intend on getting one. But you can see the detail on his body is so immaculate. There's a ton of those ruins seriously all over it. There's no sculpted tread. But these giant spikes, they don't feel actually fragile, which is really surprising, because usually when figures have these little pieces sticking up and off of them, it does feel really fragile. But these feel like they can take a tiny bit of a beating. They don't feel incredibly delicate. All of these are 3D on the suit, and it's not just printed, except for these actual ruins right here. We have a very big prominent stitch line right here. And guys, why did they nerf him? I mean, like, come on. If you guys have seen the movie, he is not like this. Hot Toys, just why? But purely looking at this guy's physique, he is an absolute monster. Laying him down here, he actually doesn't really even fit in frame. I guess you could say like that. But he is freaking huge. He has tiny waist, huge legs, huge chest, wide shoulders, big arms. I really am a big fan of how this guy looks. Now, all of this is really kind of like squishy. It's airy. So I don't really know what that is, you know, a sign of. I don't think it's really anything. It's just a thing to note. And right here, you can see a lot of extra material. So the suit does have a lot more give when doing different kinds of poses, and it won't end up stretching or breaking. Guys, I think this will help your kind of head process how big this figure is. I think a lot of you at least have one Tom Holland Spider-Man, if not this exact same suit. This suit is really, like, honestly, very popular among Hot Toys collectors, and for good reason. This is an awesome suit, and you could really find him very consistently for around $100 to $150 on the used market, which I would definitely recommend a lot more. I got mine for $100 flat, and I could not be more happy with this figure. And looking at them next to each other, and they scale really cool, I'm not sure how big the Miles Morales figure is. Probably the same height as the Tom Holland Spider-Man. I feel like they are kind of shorter figures and characters. But anyway, let's get some other fun comparisons out of the way real quick. And of course, the crowd is so shocked right now that I brought out Deadpool for the first time ever with a figure comparison. I am lying to you guys. I bring out Deadpool every single time because I am a Deadpool shill. Love the character, love the figure a lot. Might be my favorite figure in my collection, but don't tell anybody. Obviously, they look good together, guys. I mean, come on. Deadpool looks good with anybody. And finally, I decided with Captain America. There really is no specific reason why I chose him. I just thought it would be a pretty cool comparison. And I was somewhat right. It looks cool, I guess. I don't really know the correlation. I'm just pulling out random stuff. Now, guys, it is time for the articulation portion. Now, please do bear in mind, this is not my personal figure, and I'm not going to be keeping this guy very sadly. He does not fit in my collection at this moment, but he really is a beautiful figure. But I'm going to be very limited in how far I push him. I will push him as far as I'm comfortable with, but you might be able to push him a little bit farther. So that head sculpt goes this far up. It's actually pretty impressive, but it's slid off right there. It can go that high up, goes 360 all the way around. Obviously, it is on a very basic ball peg, and actually his entire neck right here moves, so you can get a ton of range of motion looking down, and there is a decent amount of side-to-side head pivot. Coming over to his arms, they can go pretty far up, just I think a tiny bit over 90, if not just 90. Going forwards, the suit will prohibit the actual motion, but I would say that's pretty much 90. And for going backwards, I would say just about the same thing. Let's check out that elbow bend, and it goes just as far as it can without that bicep and that forearm meeting, because he has some really big fucking biceps. And now actually, I didn't even notice this. These come without this piece on there, so I do have to put those on. Now time for some ab crunch, and this guy has a really great amount, especially for a fully seamless figure. And going backwards, that's as far as I'm willing to push it, because it does put a lot of pressure on his square crotch right there, and I would really rather not rip this figure. Legs going all the way up as far as they can, 90 degrees. Going backwards, I'm going to say it is not great. Knees, obviously, especially for a Spider-Man figure, all the way on a double knee joint. Ankles can go this far down, very far up with that extra toe bend, especially for a Spider-Man figure, like I said. And a actually great amount of ankle rotation. And the hips go out a lot farther than I really thought they would. I mean, that is really impressive, but if you hold a pose in that position, it might crease that suit a lot. And any creases you guys see right now, they will go away. They are very temporary. Now, guys, I seriously am about to put a bunch of effort into doing this for you guys, because this thing looks absolutely huge and is definitely going to take a decent bit of time. So just stick around for a little more so you can see what it ends up looking like, please. All right, guys, and here we have the display base all finished up. This thing looks really good, not gonna lie. It's made out of a very high quality kind of card stock, I guess you could call it. But this thing was really easy to put together, actually. Definitely read the instructions, because that'll just make your life a whole lot easier. And if we place the figure down directly in front of it, you can see how great it actually matches. And I think it really does complement the entire figure itself. And I did actually do a little bit of a fitment test, and it surprisingly did fit in my display case, which I was really surprised that it did. But a little futzing around and, you know, just kind of morphing it all about, and it did fit. So if you guys are worried, 16 inches tall is about what you can probably get away with it. Don't quote me on that, though. You'll have to see for yourself in person what you like and what you feel comfortable with putting in there. But guys, to be honest, I don't really have that much else to share about you with this figure. I'm just going to be showing you some cool poses right now and some final statements, so stick around if you want. And guys, as always, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And as pretty much always, you guys picked this guy up from toysassemble.com today, and thank you guys again for watching.